Does the price of your paint actually make a difference in the quality of your finished paintings? Today I'm going to be comparing a low quality student grade paint against one of the most expensive brands to see if there's actually a difference. I'll be comparing the three primary colours against each other today. I'll be using the Liquitex Basic Acrylics. This costs $3.95 for 180ml. This Daler Rowney acrylic paint, which costs $2.95 for this tube. For the expensive brand, I'll be using Golden Acrylics Professional Primary Colours. This on average cost $11 to $14 for these small tubes, which is an average of 94 per litre. For our first comparison, I'm going to be using a colour swatch just to see how the colours differentiate. So on the right side, I'll be testing the Liquitex colours. I've quickly drawn out a little colour wheel. So I'll be comparing the three primary colours and also the three secondary colours. Painting with this acrylic paint felt nice. It was very creamy and easy. I will say that they were slightly transparent, particularly with the yellow. And for the golden paint, it was definitely more thick and creamy. So I did notice a slight difference. I also noticed a difference in the colour. So as you can see, the red on the Liquitex side is much more bright, and the primary magenta from Golden Acrylics is much more darker and almost like a moody maroon red. The ultramarine blue definitely was more deep and darker than the Liquitex Ultramarine Blue. So I did notice a slight difference in the colour between the two brands. And to be honest, the colour that stood out the most with the biggest difference was the primary yellow. So the Liquitex was very light and transparent versus the Golden, which was very, very saturated and creamy. And the same thing goes for the secondary colours. I noticed that the hues were slightly different. But if you were to ask me if there was such a big difference that justifies the price, then I would say there wasn't such a huge notable difference in between using the two paint that made me think that one was far more superior than the other. Now I'm going to paint and compare both sides so I can see how the colour payoff, consistency and overall experience is painting with two different types of paint. This is with the Golden Acrylic paints. So I started off just grabbing a angled brush and just dipping in using both colours. I tend to really like working with more than one colour at the same time. So I just wanted to paint on this card. This is not a canvas. This is just a regular paper card. But obviously acrylics are really great in the sense that you can paint on so many different kinds of surfaces and it takes really well. So I just was painting on these cards just to see how it would turn out. And honestly, the painting was smooth. It worked well. The colours blended nicely together. But nothing about the experience felt really extremely different to what it is like painting with more student grade, or even just like Liquitex as a brand, or even other different kind of brands. It really didn't feel necessarily so different. So I was kind of expecting there to be a very noticeable difference, considering how much more expensive it is than your normal paints, that it would just really feel like painting with a very high quality and excellent paint. So it was kind of a letdown for me, and painting with the Liquitex felt really nice and easy. It's very pigmented. You don't have to pick up much on your brush, and it's super easy and very workable, and the paints blend really nicely together as well. So really not that different from the Golden Acrylic paints. My honest opinion so far after trying, and I have actually been painting with it as well on regular canvas, the Golden Acrylics as well as the Liquitex, and there really isn't that much of a massive difference. So I feel like people just go for it. Perhaps they just want to invest and spend more on their painting supplies, but this definitely has proven to me that you can definitely find good quality paint at a lower price point, and you do not have to spend a ton of money to get beautiful colors. Here they are side by side, and as you can see, there isn't much of a noticeable difference, except that the Liquitex is slightly brighter in its overall color. But honestly, I thought the general experience of using either, they're both just as pigmented. Both of them have a really nice finish, so you definitely don't need to spend that much money to get a really nice painting. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.